Let's drop the illusions. Not every woman is worthy of your energy, your time, or your loyalty. Some women are like sunlight. They nourish you, elevate you, and make you more of who you truly are. But others are shadows dressed in beauty. They don't break you in one swift blow. They drain you, quietly, consistently, and always with a smile. The most dangerous kind won't come with warning signs. She won't scream chaos. She'll wear elegance like armor, perfume, charm, and the illusion of warmth. She enters your world like a gift from fate and leaves like a storm that strips everything bare. You'll think you're falling in love, but what's really happening is depletion. Your focus fades, your confidence thins, your inner peace begins to slip through your fingers. And let me be clear, a low-value woman is not merely not the one. She is a liability to your growth, your discipline, your future. And if you're not awake to the signs, she'll turn your life into a battlefield you never agreed to fight on. So, how do you recognize her? How do you protect your peace before it gets traded for emotional chaos? In this video, I'm going to show you 6 unmistakable signs that you're dating a woman who drains your energy. This is for the men who are done wasting strength on confusion disguised as beauty. This is for the men who've chosen clarity over chaos. This is for the men walking the Stoic path. Before we begin, do one thing. Like, subscribe, and step into this with your eyes wide open. Let's begin. Sing 1. She's addicted to validation. You could love her with unwavering loyalty. You could praise her, support her, stand beside her, like an oak tree in a storm. But if she craves attention more than truth, your devotion will never be enough. Because she doesn't want your love. She wants applause. You'll see it not in her words, but in her behavior. Social media is her altar. Every photo, every caption is a performance, crafted not to share life, but to harvest reactions. She'll say things like, "I can't help it if guys comment. It's just a picture. You're overreacting." But what she's really saying is, "I care more about strangers' approval than your respect." That's the wound beneath the surface. She's not seeking connection. She's staging a production. She's 1 foot in your world and 1 foot casting a net for likes, hearts, compliments, anyone who's watching. And when you raise your concerns, she flips the script. You're too jealous. You're insecure. No, brother, you're observant. A high-value woman doesn't need the gaze of the crowd. She needs only the eyes of the man she admires. She doesn't measure her worth by likes or lustful comments. And here's the hard truth. If she's constantly chasing validation from the world, she'll never fully value what's real, including you. And the longer you stay, the more invisible you'll become. Now pause for a moment. Before we move to the next sign, consider this. Have you ever felt like you were in a relationship with her and her entire audience at the same time? If that hits home, keep watching. This next sign cuts even deeper. Sing 2. She thrives on drama and chaos. Some women cannot survive without conflict. They breathe better when there's a storm in the air. If life is peaceful, they'll ignite chaos, because to them calm isn't safety, it's boredom. Silence isn't serenity, it's suffocation. She will start arguments from thin air. Twist your words like vines around your throat. Accuse you of crimes you never committed. She will pull away without warning, not because she's wounded, but because she wants to see you chase. And here's the chilling part, she enjoys it. You've heard it before. "I just like a little drama, it keeps things interesting." Or the classic, "If there's no fire, it's boring." She'll even dismiss calm men as too easy. But don't mistake dysfunction for passion. Don't confuse emotional whiplash for chemistry. A high-value woman, one grounded in truth, seeks calm over chaos, clarity over confusion, connection over control. But the woman addicted to drama, She thrives in emotional fog. She wants your mind cloudy, your steps unsure. She wants you constantly filtering every word, doubting every decision, walking on eggshells just to avoid her wrath. And here's what you must understand. That's not love, that's survival. But here's the twist she never sees coming. You don't have to play her game. You can step back, walk away, reclaim your peace. And when you do, one of two things will happen. She'll panic and chase, or disappear and blame. Either way, you win. Because peace isn't something you beg for. It's something you guard with unshakable boundaries, chosen by the people you allow into your life. Before we move forward, I have a question for you. Have you ever been with someone who stirred chaos, not because they were in pain, but because they needed to feel in control? If yes, stay with me. The next signs are just as vital. Scene 3. She uses emotional manipulation to control you. There's a kind of woman who never raises her voice. She doesn't scream. She doesn't slam doors or throw plates. And yet she always gets exactly what she wants. How? She doesn't manipulate your logic. She manipulates your emotions. You find yourself feeling guilty for things you didn't do. You apologize for feelings you didn't cause. You start doubting boundaries that were once clear and justified. At first it's subtle. After a disagreement, she goes silent. You make weekend plans without her. She looks hurt. She says, "It's fine." But her tone, her posture, her eyes, they scream betrayal. You start second-guessing yourself. Was I too harsh? Was I selfish? Did I mess up? And that's the trap. She doesn't need to argue. She doesn't need to demand. She controls through silence, through sighs, through sadness worn like armor. You begin canceling plans, altering your behavior, walking on emotional eggshells, not to honor her, but to avoid her withdrawal. And every time you fold under that pressure, you send a message. This works. You teach her that she doesn't need to ask. She only needs to pout, to withhold, to freeze. And you'll bend to her will. But a high-value woman doesn't play this game. If she's hurt, she speaks. If she needs something, she says it. She builds bridges with clarity, not fogs of confusion. But the woman who wields guilt like a sword, she's not seeking a partner. She's seeking a puppet. Let me paint the picture. You tell her a week in advance. Saturday, I'm seeing my friends. She says, "Sure, have fun." Saturday comes, she turns cold. You ask, "Everything okay?" She shrugs. "Yeah, go have fun. I'll just be here alone." Now suddenly, you're the villain. You're debating cancelling not because you want to, but just to stop feeling guilty. Let's be clear. That's not love. That's emotional blackmail. And it doesn't stop unless you stop it. You must become the man who doesn't fold under silence, who doesn't beg for peace, but creates it by standing firm in the storm. Call it out with calm strength. If something's bothering you, I'm open to talk, but I won't play guessing games. And if she won't speak clearly, live your life anyway. A stoic man chooses clarity over confusion, freedom over guilt, presence over performance. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt guilty for something, even when your conscience was clean? If the answer is yes, then it's time to reclaim your peace. The next sign? It cuts even deeper into the heart of your future. Scene 4. She has zero accountability. You'll know her by the pattern. Every problem is someone else's fault. She makes reckless choices. She lights the fire. She pours the gasoline. Then when the smoke rises, she steps back and blames you for not putting it out. She cheats? It's because you were too distant. She disrespects you? It's because you made her angry. She's broke? It's the economy, her ex, her parents, the system, anything, anyone, except her. It's a revolving door of excuses. No reflection, no growth. Just emotional gymnastics designed to dodge the mirror. And here's the most dangerous part, you become her favorite excuse. Every time something falls apart, she looks to you. You dropped it. You failed me. You caused this. And slowly you begin to believe it. You start thinking, maybe I was too cold. Maybe I did overreact. Maybe it really is my fault, but it's not. It's her refusal to look inward. It's her elegy to self-responsibility. Because a high-value woman owns her mistakes. She doesn't hide behind justifications. She reflects, she learns, she evolves. But a low-value woman builds her identity on a mountain of excuses. And if you stay long enough, her story becomes your reality. You inherit her guilt. You carry her weight. You suffer from wounds you didn't inflict. Let me be crystal clear. You can't heal someone who refuses to admit they're bleeding. Sometimes walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's not quitting, it's choosing peace over punishment. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself apologizing just to stop an argument you didn't even start? If that hits too close to home, keep going. You're not alone, and we're only halfway through the truth. Lesson 5. She doesn't respect masculinity. She competes with it. A woman who truly knows her worth also knows how to honor yours. She doesn't feel threatened by your strength. She feels grounded by it. To her, your confidence is not control, it's protection. Your leadership is not dominance, it's direction. Your presence is not pressure, it's peace. But some women don't want a partner. They want a power struggle. Instead of walking beside your masculinity, she pushes against it. She doesn't support your decisions, she challenges them. Not out of curiosity, not out of healthy dialogue, but out of a need to win. You say, I'll take care of it. She snaps back, I don't need a man to do anything for me. You step up as a leader. She calls it controlling. You set boundaries. Suddenly you're toxic. No matter how calm, composed, or clear you are, she will resist harder because it's not about fairness. It's about control. But here's the deeper truth. A woman like this doesn't just resist masculinity. She resents it. Maybe she grew up with men who abused their roles. Maybe she's been burned by betrayal. Maybe she's been taught that power must be seized, not shared. But no matter the reason, the result is the same. She cannot allow you to stand tall because she's afraid of what happens if she stands beside you. And here's the danger. To keep the peace, you'll start shrinking. You'll lower your voice. You'll question your judgment. You'll soften your opinions, not from kindness, but from fear of triggering her insecurity. But a Stoic man knows, masculinity isn't toxic. It's disciplined. It's grounded in purpose. It brings structure to chaos, stability to emotion, and safety to uncertainty. You weren't born to apologize for being a man. You were born to lead with honor. And the woman meant for you? She won't compete with that. She'll recognize it. She'll trust it. She'll support it. Because a real relationship isn't a tug of war. It's two people pulling in the same direction. So if you feel like your very presence offends her, if every attempt to lead is met with resistance, if you've had to dial yourself down just to keep her comfortable, then ask yourself this. Are you in a relationship or are you stuck in a silent battle? Let me be clear. You don't need a rival. You need a partner. And if you've forgotten what that feels like, it's time to stop apologizing for who you are and start protecting your peace. Lesson 6. She has no long-term vision. A high-value woman thinks in decades. She lives with intention. She envisions her future, invests in her growth, her finances, and seeks a man who shares her sense of direction. But a low-value woman, she lives like tomorrow doesn't exist. She is impulsive. She chases pleasure. She avoids responsibility like it's a disease. Structure, discipline, accountability. She's allergic to all of it. Her version of fulfillment is based on excitement, not foundation. And you'll see it in the small things. She never budgets but always finds a way to spend. She jumps from job to job but never builds a career. She says, I just go with the flow. But the flow, it's going nowhere. And when life doesn't deliver what she wants, she doesn't adapt. She blames. My boss is toxic. My ex ruined everything. The system's rigged. But the mirror, it's never consulted. And here's the part that matters to you deeply. If she can't lead herself, she will never build with you. You will become the plan, the backup, the emotional life raft, the financial cushion for her chaos. At first, she seems exciting, spontaneous, adventurous. She's the yes to everything kind of girl. Clubs, trips, last-minute weekends. It feels like freedom until the debt creeps in, until the complaints about money start, until she scoffs at the idea of saving while asking you to cover her rent. And when you mention responsibility, she laughs. Why worry? You only live once. But here's what she misses. You only live once, which is exactly why you must live wisely. A woman with no direction won't support yours. She won't respect it. She'll question it. Or worse, she'll become dependent on it. Because relationships require alignment. Shared values, shared vision, shared principles. Without structure, even the most passionate love collapses the moment life gets hard. And if she fears commitment in her own life, she will not honor it in yours. Now ask yourself, have you ever dated someone who feared responsibility, but expected you to provide stability? If that struck a nerve, pay close attention to the final sign, because it reveals the core of whether she lifts you or quietly breaks you. So now you know the 6 signs. 6 red flags dressed in charm. 6 behaviors that don't just disturb your peace, they erode your soul, slowly, quietly, and sometimes beautifully. But knowledge means nothing unless you act. A Stoic man doesn't beg for peace, he chooses it. He doesn't cling to what drains him, he releases it. He doesn't chase validation, he builds value. Because the truth is this: your energy is sacred, and who you give it to determines the quality of your life. You weren't made to walk on eggshells. You weren't made to explain your worth. You were made to lead, protect, build, and stand firm, even if it means standing alone. If any part of this video spoke to something deep inside you, then it's time to reevaluate not just who you're dating, but what you're tolerating. Don't settle for beauty that brings chaos. Seek the kind of woman who reflects your peace, not poisons it. And if you're still healing from a relationship like this, good, because that means you survived. Now it's time to rise. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the Stoic Spirit, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Stay strong, stay grounded, and above all, never let your energy be wasted on someone who doesn't value it.